Hello everyone, this is Mr. Steelix Girl here with another VGC beginner guide featuring Rayquaza. Rayquaza is a hybrid attacker with high physical and special attack base stats, but only mediocre spread into bulk and speed. On top of this, Rayquaza's typing is fairly neutral with 5 resistances and 1 immunity, but also having 4 weaknesses to Ice, Rock, Dragon, and Fairy. Rayquaza's signature ability is Airlock. This ability negates the effects of all weather while this Pokemon is on the field. This means that weather-activated abilities such as Chlorophyll or Swift Swim will be turned off and none of the offense or defense buffs provided by weather will be activated. Rayquaza's signature move is called Dragon Ascent. Dragon Ascent is a flying type physical attack that has a base power of 120 and 100% accuracy. This move has a secondary effect which drops Rayquaza's defense and special defense 1 stage after use. There is another vital move that I want to cover in detail before we move on. Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed is an 80 base power normal type priority move that Rayquaza loves to abuse because it circumvents its middling speed and allows it to move first. But what is a priority move, and how do they work? Speed priority is broken down from -7 all the way to +5. Extreme Speed has a speed priority of +2. This means that regardless of your Pokemon's speed, Extreme Speed will always go before any moves that have a lower speed tier, but will always go after moves with a higher speed tier. Most attacks, as you can see, have a speed tier of 0, which is what makes Extreme Speed so valuable. But where your Pokemon's speed stat does come into play is when you and your opponent use moves with the same speed tier. Let's look at an example. Say we have a Rayquaza versus a Clefairy and Chien-Pao, using only base speeds. If Rayquaza were to use Extreme Speed and Clefairy uses Follow Me on the same turn, even though both moves have a +2 speed priority, Rayquaza has the higher speed stat, and so Extreme Speed gets to move before Follow Me and can target the Chien-Pao without being redirected. But if we switch out Clefairy for something like Ogerpon now has the higher speed, and if the same scenario were to occur, Follow Me would move first and redirect Extreme Speed, allowing Chien-Pao to target Rayquaza freely. Now that we've gone through a general breakdown, let's move on to building with Rayquaza. Our first build focuses on investment in HP, attack, and into some speed while holding the Choice Band item so that we can capitalize on offense with the use of Extreme Speed. Choice Band is an item that improves our physical attack by 1.5 times at the cost of only being able to select one move. The rest of our moveset is fairly simple with 2 stab moves in Dragon Ascent and Outrage and the move U-Turn. Because we are using Choice Band, it's important to have a pivot move like U-Turn so that if Rayquaza isn't in an ideal spot, you can switch out mid-battle to allow your backline to be active for the next turn. Normal type is the preferred Terra on this set as it's a great defensive pivot away from Rayquaza's common weaknesses, but it also gives Extreme Speed a much needed damage boost which can be the difference in securing a KO. The second build is only a slight variation to the first by abandoning Choice Band for Clear Amulet and running the move Swords Dance to become a lethal priority sweeper. Clear Amulet helps to bypass opposing Intimidate or Parting Shots which can severely limit Rayquaza's damage while also letting us use status moves. Swords Dance is a phenomenal move when given the opportunity to set up. This move raises your Pokemon's attack by 2 stages, which is actually a larger boost than Choice Band, but at the cost of a turn to set up. Terra Normal or Terra Steel would be the primary types that I would consider when building with this set to buy you enough time to set up Swords Dance or to still hit hard with Extreme Speed when setup is not an option. For both builds, tweaking the HP, attack, and speed EVs to your preferences is completely valid. When using Rayquaza, it's important to understand its shortcomings and what it can really struggle going into. Psychic Terrain, which completely blocks priority moves for all Pokemon that are on the ground, meaning that Extreme Speed is almost completely nullified. Ghost-type Pokemon, which are especially lethal as the 2 most common Ghost types in the current Regulation I format both have access to super effective moves against Rayquaza, are naturally faster, and are also immune to Extreme Speed due to it being a normal type move. And finally, Steel type Pokemon can be difficult to overcome as they resist normal, flying, and dragon moves, making them huge defensive fronts for Rayquaza. Thankfully, these weaknesses are not without their counters. Some examples of Pokemon that make great partners for Rayquaza when team building include Chien-Pao, which lowers the defense of all Pokemon on the field to boost Rayquaza's physical damage, has access to Ice Spinner to eliminate Psychic Terrain from the field, Sucker Punch to deal with Ghost types, types, and Sacred Sword to punish steel types. Chi-Yu, which is an offensive weapon that provides coverage for steel, ice, and ghost types that all threaten Rayquaza, and Galarian Weezing, which prevents dangerous Pokemon like Indeedee or Farigiraf from using their abilities that block priority moves. This also stops the ability Intimidate from activating, which helps choice band Rayquaza. Further, Rayquaza's ability Airlock is fairly niche in usage, and you won't always be facing against weather teams, so having its ability turned off by Weezing is usually not a problem. Now that Regulation I is here, I also wanted to cover some potential restricted partners that could excel with Rayquaza. First, Shadow Rider Calyrex. This ghost type restricted legendary is a fast and powerful special attacker that can barrel out of control. Shadow Rider can easily dispatch opposing ghost types and can punch through opponents early to allow Rayquaza to clean up in the back with extreme speed. And second, Kyogre. While this Pokemon can have some anti-synergy as a range setter going into Rayquaza's Airlock, you can actually use Rayquaza as a way to win Weather Wars by having it while your opponent's weather when Kyogre is being switched in and out. Kyogre and Rayquaza also balance each other's type weaknesses and make for amazing switches when facing off against opposing ice or grass types. In official VGC tournaments, since the removal of Mega Rayquaza, it has had a major setback with only 3 top finishes in its entire history. In my opinion, Rayquaza does have its niche uses by eliminating weather effects, which can significantly hamper Koraidon or Kyogre teams, and by bypassing Tailwind and Trick Room with the use of extreme speed. Unfortunately, Rayquaza's lack of another ability and over-reliance on priority moves to overcome its mediocre speed does lower its potential considerably when compared to other restricted legendaries. But even so, Rayquaza is such a fun and unique Pokemon that can be used as a powerful endgame cleanup option when propped up by the right team and positioned by the right player.